Today I'm going to show you how to make this very delicious pastrami from scratch. Making pastrami takes time, but in my opinion it is so worth it. So the first step, you need to cure the meat for about 7 days, and the second step, I will show you how to smoke the cured meat on the barbecue. For the first step, you will need a large container which can hold around 6 liters of water. Pour the 6 liters of cold or room temperature water in the container. Do not put hot water as it will cook the meat. I bought some ready-made pickle spice on Amazon, so you will need about 10 tablespoons. I will leave all the recipe and the link in the description below. You need also 400 grams of salt. I took crystal salt, 200 grams of brown sugar. Then you add 10 cloves of garlic, 4 teaspoons of pink curing salt. So the same, I just bought mine on Amazon. Mix it well until the salt and the sugar are dissolved in the water. Once it's all done, it's now time to put your brisket in the mix. Cover it and leave it in the fridge for 7 days. This is your first step done. So the brisket is now cured for 7 days. Wow. It is time to take it off the brine and then rinse it. It is very important to rinse it properly under running water. You don't want to have any salt remaining on the brisket, otherwise it will be way too salty. So once you've cleaned it thoroughly for about 5 minutes, then use a paper towel to dry it. Now we need to add a rub. I just bought this one from Amazon, link in the description. But we need also to add a binder before. So it's very important to add a binder so we make sure that the rub sticks to the meat. So you can use yellow mustard, or you can also use vegetable oil if you want. Apply only a thin layer of rub on each side of the brisket. You need to consider that the brisket will shrink by half while cooking, so you don't want the rub to be overpowering. Now the meat is ready, we need to set up the smoker. So I will use the 50-50 method to set up my barbecue. So I've still got some briquette left from last time, so we'll still use them, we'll leave them in the baskets. I will add around 10-12 new unlit briquette into the baskets, and I will light around 10 briquettes in the chimney, and then once they are white on the top, then I will pour them into the baskets. That will give me around 6 hours of burning time at 120 degrees C. I will pour a drip pan next to the briquettes, and I'll pour some water into it. The water is very important because it will help regulating the temperature as well as keeping a good level of moisture in the barbecue. Now the barbecue's temperature is stable at 110 degrees. I'm adding some wood chunks so I can create some smoke. So I will put the brisket on top of the drip pan so when the fat is dripping it doesn't go over the barbecue. And I'm going to pour some oak dust so I can generate extra smoke, especially at the beginning. I will stick my probe into the brisket so I can monitor the temperature on my phone. It needs to reach 74 degrees before we wrap it. I will set the vent to the minimum settings at the bottom, as you can see, and I will set it to the middle settings at the top. So we are now 6 hours into the cook, and the brisket internal temperature has reached 74 degrees C. It is time to wrap, so we can easily reach 93 and 95 degrees C later. Let's take it out. So the brisket is still very juicy, so I will not add any liquid into the wrap. If you feel that your meat is a bit dry, you can always add some juice like orange juice or apple juice or even some water. So wrap it very tight because you want to retain all the moisture into the foil. So now it's time to put our brisket back on the barbecue. I will also stick the meat probe into the foil so I know when the brisket reaches 95 degrees, and then our pastrami will be ready. Don't forget to add the meat probe because you don't cook by time but you will cook by temperature. So the pastrami's temperature now is 94 degrees. So I've taken it out of the barbecue and then I'm gonna wrap it into a towel so it can stay around 2 hours into the cooler. So that will make sure that all the juices that were in the foil that can let them go back into the brisket, and the brisket is very juicy later. So I will wrap it, put it in the cooler, and I'll see you back in 2 hours. 11 hours into the cook. I know it's very long considering that we started the process last week. Trust me, it is worth every minute of wait. So I will take it off the foil and we will slice it. So you can really see the distinctive pink color in the inside. So when you cut it, don't do it like I did. I was probably too excited about eating it. You need to cut against the grain. So I only realized halfway through that I made that horrible mistake. So I will serve the pastrami today on bagels with cream cheese and cheese slices. If you decide to try to make pastrami, make sure that you have a good enough intramuscular fat in the brisket. This is essential to the cooking process. I hope you liked the video as much as I liked eating that awesome pastrami. If that's the case, please leave a thumbs up. I have a lot more content coming in the next few weeks. Make sure to subscribe and activate the notification bell so you don't miss any of the next videos. You can also join Frog Barbecue on Facebook. Thank you for watching, and I will see you soon.